welcome back to our pre-K and TK classroom. I hope that you're having an amazing day. I'm so happy that you're able to join me. My name is Miss Laura and I'm going to be your teacher today. Hello! Now today is day 2 of the 5 days that we're going to be together talking about a word that starts with W. Weather. That's right, we're going to discuss weather all this week. Yesterday we got to make some rainbows, and today we're going to be making a windsock and read that story I was telling you about Bruce in the storm. So 1, 2, 3 more to go. Let's put that down. Now before we start our learning, I love to share music, finger plays, and songs with you. They're so important to literacy development, especially in the early years. So the song I have for you this week is called What's the Weather? And we get to do some hand motions with it. Remember, we get to be the sun and the rain and the wind. We're going to sing it 2 times. Here we go. What's the weather? What's the weather? What's the weather like today? Is it sunny? Is it rainy? Is it windy out today? One more time. What's the weather? What's the weather? What's the weather out today? Is it sunny? Is it rainy? Is it windy out today? So I hope that you got to move a little bit and get yourself going for the learning that we have. Now I'm going to be teaching you some words in Spanish as well, through music of course. So the first word was llueva. Que llueva means to rain. The next word is niña. I'm a niña or girl. So when you hear that song in word, you'll know what it means. It goes like this. Remember our Spanish song? Que llueva, la niña en la cueva. Los pajaritos cantan. Piu, 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 piu. Las nubes se levantan. Que sí, que no, que caiga un chaparrón. That's a traditional song that I even grew up hearing. Now we have another book that I think you're going to enjoy that goes along with the songs that we're learning. And there are some weather words that we need to review first. You'll recognize them from yesterday. So here we go. The first one is temperature. Special letter T. Do you remember what that means? That's right, it's how cold or hot something is. The temperature outside is usually told using a thermometer. And if you haven't seen one before, ask a grown-up, hey grown-up, what does a thermometer look like? And see if they have one to show you. Number 2 was humidity, special letter H. That's the wetness in the air. Remember we talked about that when something's really humid, it makes you sticky and it makes you sweat a little bit. And the last word is fog, special letter F, fog. Do you remember what that means? It's a cloud that touches the ground. And if you're ever in fog, just think you're walking and playing in clouds. How fun! So let's see if our book has any of these words that you will now know the meaning of. So our book today is called Bruce's Big Storm. Look, I think that's Bruce. He's one of the main characters in the story. That means that's who the story is about. And there's a rabbit, and it looks like a mouse, and they're holding an umbrella, and it looks like it's really windy. I hope that they survive the big storm. This book is by Ryan Higgins. He's the author. That means he wrote the words. And maybe you're an author too. Write words and stories that you can share with people around you. So let's read. Here's Bruce. Now look at Bruce's face. Does he look happy, sad, mad? He looks grumpy. That's right. Bruce was a bear who did not like neighbors. He did not like the people next to him. There he is, outside, glaring, looking around. Does not like neighbors. Neighbors were loud. Vroom, 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 vroom. Hey, Bruce, want to ride? There's Bruce going, no way, you loud neighbor. They were always interrupting. Oh, he's in the middle of hammering something. Goes, Brownie. Bruce says, no, thank you. And pestering. Want to play flying panball? There's Fox, and Bruce looks very angry. Worse still, neighbors lived all over Bruce's neighborhood. Hi, neighbor, do you have any robotic loose parts that I could borrow? There he is. Bruce just cannot get away from his neighbors, and he is not happy about it. Bruce's neighbors were always coming and going, but at least none of them stayed very long until the day of the big storm. And look, there's Bruce looking at his TV. Your soggy hollows weather today will have rain that is very wet and wind that is very windy, the weather person says. Bruce did not want visitors. He wanted to wait out the storm in peace and quiet. So look, all of these people are at his door, and they said, sorry to be a bother, but can we please stay here during the storm? If your neighbors came up to you and said, hey neighbor, can I stay with you? Would you let them? But not everyone felt this way. Big storms are less scary when you're together, says the mouse. Let's invite everyone to play games in our pajamas. And the other mouse says, I love pajama parties and we don't even have pajamas. I don't know if Bruce is going to like this. As the rain started to fall and the winds got windier, more and more animals began to show up or arrive. First there's an owl and a bird and another bird. It looks like a beaver and even a skunk. Finally, the whole neighborhood was there. Wait, said Rupert. Someone is still outside. There he is by the window pointing. And look at Bruce. He is not happy. He has his back to all of his animal friends. But everyone else went out to the window to look. Almost everyone, because of course Bruce stood by. There was a little bunny out in the storm. Oh no, look at that little bunny. There he is shivering out in the cold and all the animals on the window looking at him. Someone has to help her, shouted Thistle the mouse. I'm on my way, said Nibs as he ran out their door. Look, he has an umbrella. Bruce is not moving, is he? Do you think that Bruce should go help? Or do you think that Bruce has done enough by letting everyone into his house? But the big storm was too much for the mouse. Ah! Oh, look! I can see my house some way up high. There he goes, flying in the wind. Now it turned into a rescue mission for the rabbit and the mouse. I'm here to the rescue, but who's going to rescue us? It's okay, swoop. This is all part of my plan, he said as the umbrella caught the wind and rose higher and higher. But they needed a little more help, and who came to the rescue? Bruce. Here he says, you took my favorite umbrella. The mouse says, Bruce, you came to save us. But maybe we need a new plan, because what's happening here? Is Bruce touching the ground? No, he's up high. No, he's going to get swept away. What's going to happen? Everyone had to pitch in, that means help, and together they pulled the bunny, the mouse, and the grumpy old bear back to safety along with the umbrella. So when everyone worked together, they found a way to save the rabbit, the mouse, and Bruce. It had been quite an adventure, and Bruce did not like adventures. While the storm raged on outside, Bruce's visitors, cozy and warm, played games to pass the time. Bruce did not like to play games. There he was. Look at his arms are crossed and he has a mean face on. What's gonna happen? Look, it says crash, and it's a big tree. I hope all the animals are safe inside. Then one last guest arrived, a great big oak tree, and it didn't knock. Crash! Battle stations! Bring the chainsaw! Oh no, mouses, I'm allergic to acorns. Squeak! All the animals are panicking. They were all okay, but the house was not. That poor house. So Bruce had let all these animals in, all of his neighbors, and then a big tree came and hit his house. Still, everyone found a safe, dry corner to spend the night in. Come morning, Bruce's house didn't look so great. Would you want to live in a house that looked like that? Soon his neighbors went back to their home, leaving Bruce behind to grumble in the rubble. Oh no, they're going to leave Bruce in his broken house even when he was kind enough to let them in? But not for long. Tap, 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 tap. And Bruce says, now what? What do you think is going to happen next? Let's see. All of Soggy Hollow, every neighbor came back to lend a hand, hoof, paw, or wing to help Bruce rebuild. So they were all helping him just like he helped them. Over time, Bruce's house was put back together even better than before. It became a popular place in Soggy Hollow for all the neighbors to gather and have fun. Bruce did not like fun, and he still did not like neighbors. But they sure liked him. The end. So what did you think of the story of Bruce's Big Storm? It's a fun one, right? Bruce never ever lightened up, but at the end he learned that if he helps someone, maybe they'll help you too. All right, so I hope that you check that book out in the local library. I love reading books to you, but it's time for us to work on some foundational skills that'll help you read books on your own. And this is the beginning sound for weather. And here's some weather words, and we're going to do some writing. So if you have your whiteboard or a pencil and paper nearby, you can write with me. Are you ready? The first picture we see here is a cloud. Now we're going to think about the beginning sound, which you'll remember is the first sound that you hear in a word, cloud. Let's see, k, loud, k, k. Do you know what letter makes the k, k sound? That's right, 2 letters can make that sound, but the one we're looking for is the letter C. The C says k, the C says k. Every letter makes a sound, the C says k. And the C is one big curve like that, just like that. C. Let's do this one. Do you know what this is? Oh, it looks like there's an umbrella and water falling from the sky. What is it called when that happens? Rain. That's right. Let's see the beginning sound. R, r, rain. What letter says r? That's right, R. Now the R is a big line down, little curve, and little line makes R. So let's see one last one here, and then we'll go to the other side. It's big electricity, and it comes from a cloud, and it's lightning, lightning. What letter makes the O sound? Yes, L. That's my special letter, so I definitely know how to write that. It's big line down, little line, cross at the bottom, special letter L. Let's do 3 more. This is wind. W, w. W. Oh, you're so good. Now reach over. W has 1, 2, 3, 4 big lines, and it almost looks like a squiggly line. How about this? Sunny. Yes, I love it when it's sunny outside. I might even go swimming, which is another word that starts with S. An S, that's correct. So we're gonna make an S. Now an S can be really tricky. Kind of reminds you of a snake. It's 2 little curves, but they face the different ways. Last one, it's a tornado. I hope you never get caught in a tornado. Let's listen to beginning sounds. T, t. A T, that's correct. This one's kind of easy to write because it's 1 big line down and a little line across. Tornado. So I hope that you practice isolating beginning sounds and taking apart words on your own so that you can be big, strong readers. Right now, we're going to go over to the project place and we're going to make something that you can use outside when the weather is windy. That's a windsock. Did you know wind wears socks? Different kind. Let's go over and I'll explain. All right. Here are the materials that you're going to need for our windsock. Some construction paper, some tissue paper. I like to save mine when I get gifts. And you're going to need some scissors, a hole punch, a stapler, and anything you want to use to decorate your construction paper to make your windsock. Can you believe these materials are going to be something that's going to let us know how windy it is? I can't wait. So step 1 is decorating whatever construction paper piece you're going to use for the frame of our windsock. So take a construction paper piece like this, and I happen to have some oil pastels that I want to use. You can use anything you want. Some stickers would be great, crayons, markers, maybe just some glue and glitter. I'm going to make some swirls. Will you make swirls with me? If you're at home and don't have your construction paper, make them in the air. Get your fingers moving, those swirls. So when I hold it up, it's going to make a beautiful pattern. Maybe I'll use some orange, and then I'll make zigzags. I think it would be really fun to take something like this and just start writing letters and numbers all over it, and you can use that as your windsock. Be fun. Maybe a blue. What should I add now? Let's see, I have zigzags and swirls. Dashes. Gotta add some dashes. Add some dashes over here. And just to make it even, I'm gonna add dashes over here. Now, does your windsock pattern have to look like mine? No. Imagine how boring things would be if everyone did things the same. Oh, yawn. I wouldn't want to live in a place like that. So I have a little bit more space on either side. Maybe I'll make some triangles. Yes. So I'm going to make some triangles and color them in. Just like that. All right. Now maybe you can try using another shape, an oval, a rectangle, something like that. All right, here we go. And here is what my pattern is looking like. What do you think? I hope that you give it a try. You can stop right here or you can move on to the next part. So for the next part, to make our windsock, you're actually going to need to make a tube. So to make a tube, you're going to take your paper and kind of curl it around like this. You see? I'm going to show you. Look, it looks like a tube. Then you're going to take your stapler and you're going to staple it at the top. So here's my stapler, and I'm going to staple it right here. This is what's going to hold our tissue paper up that's going to blow in the wind on a very windy day. So here's what it looks like if you get in there in the middle. There, so it doesn't stick out. I'm going to do one more towards the middle here. There we go. So this is what you're left with, the tube that's kind of decorated. And then to this tube, we're going to add some kind of string and tissue paper that's going to blow in the wind. So here's our tissue paper. And I've decided I'm going to use blue and purple because that is what I happen to have. So I'm going to take my tissue and I'm going to stack it on top of each other like this. And this will make quick work of the next step, which is using our scissors and cutting some strips out. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Now, do you have to use blue and purple? No. You can use anything you have left over. Please don't go out and buy anything. I've actually seen this activity with a 2-liter bottle and some plastic bags. That would be fun to recycle. This is just what I had on hand. So let's see, more strips here. All the way down. Okay, and once you have enough strips of tissue paper or plastic bags or regular paper, whatever it is that you're going to use, you're going to want to staple or glue them to the bottom of your tube. So I have a stapler here, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take one strip and I'm going to staple it to the bottom. Here we go. How many you put depends on what you want your windsock to look like. So windsocks are actually used a lot in Japan as decorative objects, not so much to decorate, not so much to tell the weather anymore. So if you want to go online with your family and look up Japanese windsocks, I think you'll find some really, really beautiful creations. All right, let me see. This is kind of what it's looking like so far. You could even make it look like a rocket ship by using red, orange, and yellow tissue paper and decorating your tube like a rocket. That would be a lot of fun. I saw one online that looked like a fish. Can you imagine having that? Now I wanted to mention that I'm using tissue paper because it is very light. If you were going to use construction paper at the end to staple or glue to your tube, it might not blow in the wind. Okay, we have one last step to finish off this activity. We need to poke 2 holes at the top of our tube. This is going to allow us to hang it. So I'm going to poke one here and another one here. And then you're going to need a piece of yarn or something thick and sturdy where you can use to hang it. Let's see, cut a piece of yarn and we're going to put it through the holes. Now I have to figure out a place where I'm going to hang this because it has been very, very windy where I am. Not a lot of rain, but my hair has not been doing too good. Gets really poofy and frizzy. Okay, I'm going to put it through here. And then we're going to tie it up. You might have to have a grown-up help. And then we're going to lift it up so you can see our windsock. What do you think? When the wind blows, it's going to blow it all over the place. The thing you can do is you can make a book to observe the wind. So think about which way is the paper blowing. Record it and draw in your booklet. If you have a science booklet, even better. Now I hope that you try this activity at home. I'm going to leave you with a few recommended books because we won't have enough time to talk about all the books about weather that I found in the library. So do you know what this is? Lightning. Can you believe they have a whole book just on lightning? And what I loved about this book, it has beautiful colored pictures. There's a lot of words, but you can, as an adult, tell the story of lightning. Look, this one's hitting a tree. Children are naturally very curious about the world around them, so they'll want to know all about what makes lightning happen. You can talk about safety and what to do in a big storm, just like Bruce. So I hope that you check this one out. And then last time I shared a science experiment book all about weather experiments. And this time I want to share this one. It's called Awesome Science Experiments for Kids. And in it, There's tons of other experiments, some having to do with the weather and others just in general that you can share with your child or student. Looks like our time here is almost done. So I want to remind you to read and play and use your imagination and 5 senses to think like a scientist every day. I hope that you come back tomorrow for more Storytime fun. Big smooch from me to you. Mwah! Goodbye.